Awesome. Welcome everyone to Scared or Terrified. Ooh, spooky. I was thinking about fun things to talk about when it came to both Halloween and Samhain was the Celtic traditional holiday. It's actually the New Year's for the Gaelic people. And uh, it's this time where people start talking about spooky things and people dress up and kids, I'm sure everybody has some version of that in their own country, whether or not it happens on Halloween. And so I was thinking about that and how much people like to go to the scary. And not only that, but like how much in life sometimes we go to, I'm afraid, I can't do this, and where that really how sometimes it contributes and sometimes it keeps us from choosing the thing we actually want to choose the whole time. So I guess where shall we begin? I guess we're also doing SOP this time. Cool. Love it when that happens. You didn't know you were getting a group taster. So the SOP begins. So the title, Scared or Exterrified? Exterrified is an accessy kind of word. It's the conglomeration of two words, excited and terrified. And it comes up because sometimes what we do is we say, I'm afraid, but really we're excited. Really, we are so afraid that we're excited. We're so just like, oh my God, but we're excited. We're not afraid. And that keeps us from choosing because we're afraid. We can't do the thing. But can we? So when you come to that place of, I've got to speak in front of people today, I'm so scared. I've got a brand new school. It's going to be my first day. I'm so scared. I'm starting a new job. I'm so scared. Be willing to stop and ask yourself whether or not you're scared or are you excited? Is all of that anxious energy, sometimes we'll label it as anxious, is all of that anxious energy your body turning on and lighting up because you're so excited about what you're choosing? So be honest with yourself. So I want you to, keep your eyes open or closed. There's no real big deal. I will blur my background so it's a little less of a distraction. All right. Come up with something that you think you're afraid of. I say think, kind of intentionally. I mean, who knows? Maybe you truly are the person who's totally scared of something. That's okay. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be scared. I'm not saying you're not allowed to have fear. Just let's take a look at something. So it's something you think you're afraid of. Well, if I had a class get too big, I wouldn't know what to do. So I'm afraid to let that happen. Is that true or not? Let's use some access tools. They're so good at this. So, first, everything that you think you're scared of, but you're actually terrified of, are you willing to destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun poc, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. That was a clearing statement. Clearing statement, magical wand to remove limitations. First thing you need to know is that it just changed. So if you've heard it before and I just said that and you're like, what the heck's a bases? A bases is the plural of basis. So it's all of the It's kind of like all of the platforms that you put into place to keep things the way that they are. So when we're pod and pocking, we're shortening down probably 5 pages of writing, which is all of the this that creates that, and all of the that creates this. And it's just this kind of like long, long, long phrase. But what it represents is something even more. So what it ultimately is saying is, I really, 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 really mean it. And anything that I don't even know anything about that is keeping this way, I'm done. So I like to use it to pod and pock things. That's what we call it, pod and pocking. So there's a limitation that comes up, pod and pock that. I'm afraid of this over here, pod and pock that. Skulls freak me out. Everything that is, all the personalities, all the lifetimes you've had where skulls were scary, all the time somebody freaked you out by putting a crystal skull somewhere that you then noticed and, whatever. Everything that is and everything that brings up, are you willing to destroy it and create it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pud and puck, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. We do this with things like skulls. That's like a popular Halloween sort of theme. The other thing we do is the witches. It's almost like people will pick the sense of the unknown. So what is it about the unknown that's so freaking scary? It's just something you don't have awareness on. But we can invite awareness about anything if it exists. So what if for something that was the unknown, we asked questions instead of going into the fear? What might that look like? Well, have you heard of light and heavy? Totally one of my favorite access tools. People think like, well, you go with these advanced classes and you learn a lot of stuff there. And you do. It's amazing. The clearings are amazing. Totally recommend it. But it's the tools from the bars class and the tools from the foundation that I use every day. That's one of the reasons I love facilitating those classes, because you can see so many different ways that they can come up. So let's go to light and heavy. I'm pretty sure that's like tool number 1, maybe tool number 2 in the bars class. And basically what's light is true for you, what's heavy is not true for you. That's the short of it. It can get more complex than that, but we're going like straightforward here. So what's light is true for you. What's heavy is not true for you. What is light and heavy though? How do you know what's light and heavy? What if I don't know what's light and heavy? Okay, let's just pod and pock all the stuff that keeps you from knowing what light and heavy is, feeling it in your body, allowing yourself to trust that awareness. Are you willing to destroy it and create it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and puck, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. So let's dial it back for a second. So something comes up, you're afraid. You can pod and pock that. Some people just do it as simple as pod and pock that shit. Or there are all these really long, elaborate clearings. Like I've done a couple of them. Those aren't really super long and elaborate, but you can say something like, oh, what's a good one? Hold on. I'm gonna come up with a good one. All the energy, space, consciousness, magic, miracles, mysteries, power, potency, and profitability that you and your body can be, to never be afraid again, and always be excited and filled with life at anything that comes your way. Anything preventing that joy, ease, glory from being your day-to-day norm. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and puck, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. So there's some long clearings like that. But You might be scared of a spider, and the spider is there, and you're not gonna come up with a beautiful, brilliant, long clearing. You can always say, "Pardon pock that." You can say whatever Gary and Dane would say right now. "Pardon pock that." You could say whatever Kirsten would say right now. "Pardon pock that." Mm. You don't have to remember everything or be perfect at scripting the energy to really mean that you're willing to release a limitation. All you have to do to release that is be willing to. That's freaking cool, isn't it? It's like totally one of my favorite aspects of this is that when you choose, you set everything in motion to change. So let's look at spiders. Spiders, they bite. It's kind of annoying when they bite. But other than that, which normally happens while you're asleep, I know I'm probably not doing anything for the fear, but this is great. Just go with me. So they do bite. Sometimes they bite when you're asleep. Um, I've heard stories about people swallowing spiders. That's just kind of gross, though. That's not like actually scary. It's not like threatening. It's, maybe you have a little bite. I mean, mosquitoes bite you all the time. You're not afraid of them. You're annoyed with them. But most of the time, spiders just kind of hang out in the corner and eat bugs. But what do spiders do? Like, what's their life like? They hang out making webs. They're that connected to everything. I've seen webs like across distances that I have no idea how the spider got from one place to the other to even create. They're beautiful if you look at them in the light with that, like that almost the dewdrops and the mist in the morning when you can actually see them. So beautiful. I know. You probably still don't like spiders. That's okay. Are you willing to be aware of the other cool things that they do while not liking them or not necessarily wanting to invite them in? Because when you destroy and create, let's just actually throw a little pun pock in here. So everything that's bringing up, are you willing to destroy and create it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. So I get sometimes we think if that we're not afraid of something or we don't have barriers up to it or we're not actively pushing it away, that we're like embracing it and saying, "Come, spiders, live with me." No, that's not actually what you're saying. You're just not allowing it to distract you from being whatever you would like to be in that moment. It's it's almost like if you let the fear guide your choices, then you're not the one who's making the choices. You're letting the attempted omission or pushing away of something to create your world. What else is possible? Where are there places where you're letting the fear of something keep you from choosing something else? And everything that's bringing up, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. I'm sure I forgot a couple bases in there. Throw it in your head if I miss it. It's okay. So let's go back to this choosing thing. If I'm afraid of dark alleys, and perhaps that's rightly so, you might just have an awareness not to go down the dark alley. Listen to your awareness. Awareness is not fear. Wow, I didn't think that would come up. Cool. Awareness is not fear. Awareness is not fear. Awareness is not fear. And all the SHICU implants and explants. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. Let's just give that a little space for a second. All the places that you've misidentified, misapplied, your awareness of something that you don't want to bring into your world as being something you need to be afraid of. Are you willing to destroy and create that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. What if you could have your awareness and not judge it? How much more space would you have in your world if you didn't have to board up the windows of possibility to keep the thing you think you're afraid of out of the house? And everything that brings up, are you willing to destroy and create it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. What DJCCs are you using to create the fear that you're choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. And how much do you use fear and the judgment of things before you've really truly looked at them, allowed yourself to have awareness of that thing that you won't look at because it's too scary? How many or how much of that are you using to keep the separation you are choosing? Projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that you're choosing. Everything that is times godzillion, destroy and create it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. So what is it then? What's actually behind that scary thing? If you let yourself go to the awareness of it, and if you drop your walls and barriers and really take a look, is it simply an awareness that there's some really yucky stuff going on in that alley and maybe you shouldn't walk down it? It's Halloween, so perhaps there's also spooky music. Definitely don't go down alleys if there's spooky music playing. We've learned there are a lot of movies out there that tell you what happens if you do that. Just like the movies, if everybody's screaming, don't do it, you can't hear them and you do it anyway. And everything that brings up. Let's just run and create that. Right, wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. So what are the things we fear? Are they objects? Are they people? Are they situations? Are they all of those? What povads, the points of view you're avoiding defending, are they related to this? That's something you can use if you have a fear come up. So what is my point of view about this? If you can go to what is my point of view about this, or what is the point of view that I'm avoiding, or what is the point of view I'm defending here, you can get to interesting point of view. I have that point of view. You don't even have to necessarily know why you're avoiding it or defending it or what you're avoiding or defending. I mean, this is idiot proof, unless you want to be an idiot, and that's your choice. So when I say it's idiot proof, what I mean is that you can hide and pocket and ask the universe to change it. Whatever it is I'm not seeing here about why I'm so scared to grow my own food, why I'm so scared to get a different job, why I'm so scared to tell this person who's in my life that is not working for me to just go away, please. Those are examples of kind of your day-to-day fears. Everything that brings up and everything that you're not willing to see about whatever it is that you find fearful, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it? Times a godzillion. And another godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pun puck, online shorts, boys, povads, BCs, and beyonds. Oh, she's got to take a breath there, huh? I wonder what else is up. Let's go back to the excitement thing. I really dig the excitement thing. I think that's something that we're not always willing to look at. One of the things that we as facilitators collectively have noticed over the years is that people will come and they're like, I'm afraid. And they'll get asked the question, like I asked you earlier, are you afraid or are you exterrified? That's the title of this call. So are you afraid or are you exterrified? And they're like, oh, I'm exterrified. I'm excited. Oh, I'm really excited. Huh. And so where does that come from? Sometimes it comes from an implant or an explant from when you were younger, somebody telling you, oh, don't be afraid. Don't worry, it's not a real ghost. And you're like, oh, I was actually excited to go run around with that person over there that has a sheet over their head. Because kids actually really know. They're not all, I mean, some kids don't know, but some kids they know. They're not really afraid of the thing that's behind there because they can see it, they can perceive it, they can know it, they can receive it. They're like, it's just obvious. It's a person-shaped sheet. I'll go play with that. And so to them, it's not actually scary, but the adult wants to make sure they're okay. And so they say, don't be afraid. And they go, oh, this thing I am is afraid. And so every time you feel that emotion after that, what is your being embodied and everything tell you? Say, oh, this is afraid. Oh, I'm afraid to go on a date. Are you afraid? Are you excited? Are you just so lit up through every cell of your body that you're like, yeah, let's do this? Whatever this is. No judgment. So everything that keeps you from seeing the beauty in the scary things. Because as I said, I'm not trying to make you give up any of your fears. You can hold on to those your whole life. If you want them, you keep them. Go for it. And how cool would it be if you also got to see that they were beautiful too? What if you could look at a cockroach and see the majesty with which it holds its body, like the queen or the king of the pantry, which is kind of hilarious. But let's put and pock that because I think I might have messed with some people's worlds. Everything that brings up times a godzillion. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and puck, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. Let's go back to that. What if there could be a beautiful side to everything that you perceive as scary or untouchable or just not somewhere you're willing to go. Something can be beautiful even if you don't choose to have it in your life. Something can be beautiful. You can have beautiful elements to it, even if you don't want to be with it or around it. There's still choice in all of this. And I would hazard a guess to say that everything has something beautiful about it, even plastic. So all the DJCCs that you have keeping a need for everything to be fearful, to also be ugly, or everything that you're scared of to also be awful, terrible, wrong, mean, and very, very vicious. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate that? And everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. So, also didn't think we were going to go here. Cool. Yay. What have you decided about you? What are you afraid of doing or being? And what if you could also see the beauty of you? I'm just going to let that one sink in for a minute. What ways have you defined yourself, your body, your being, how you are in the world, how you show up every day, how you are at work, how you are with your family, how you are with your friends, as being always wrong, terrible, never right? Where do you have to be the good one, the bad one, the awful one, never going to get it right, always trying, never succeeding? And all that that is, and all of the fear and the shame and guilt and any of that stuff that's tied up with that, that's really just that scared or that fear that's masking the reality of you as the being, which is lightness, space, clarity, ease, joy, glory, infinite. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate that and allow yourself to see the beauty that you be? Times Godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pun pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. Let's go through that again. So everywhere that you're not allowing yourself to see the beauty of you, the being, the body, the space that you be, the infinite possibility that surrounds you, are you willing to destroy and create anything that keeps you from seeing that beauty and that possibility? Times Godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pun pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. What if you didn't have to be afraid of you or afraid of what you'd say in any particular situation? What if you could be excited to just play with the energies that came up in a given situation? One of the ways I do that is I ask myself to say what's required to speak to the energy. And there's one other part there. Well, it's to say what's required that the person can hear. Because sometimes the truth to what they're asking isn't something they're able to or want to hear. I think that's the part that was missing. So I ask for that. I ask to be that energy that shows up. And then I don't have to be afraid of what comes out of my mouth or how I get dressed in the morning, even when that's wearing a giant zipper. Yeah, that's what this is. It's a giant zipper. I think it's fantastic. It makes me smile. But truly, if you allowed yourself to go with your infinite perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving, that's you as an infinite being. That's you as a conscious being. And so when you choose and act from that space, you don't have to be afraid. It's crazy. I love it. So let's do a little, I say, repeat after me. I am afraid. I am afraid. I am afraid. All the SHIKU implants and explants that brings up, are you willing to destroy and uncreate them? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. What's normally after I'm afraid? Things like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And everything that brings up, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. What else comes up after I'm afraid? It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. All the SHIKU implants and explants creating that. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate them? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. What else comes up for you? Repeat it 3 times, please. What comes up after you say, I am afraid? Why are you afraid? What reason and justification do you give yourself? And all the SHIKU implants and explants creating that, are you willing to destroy and uncreate them? Everything that is times Godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. That feels pretty complete on that particular energy for me. But that's something that you can do. You want to look at the thing, and then you want to look at the stuff that's underneath it. If you can't remember the whole SHIKU implant and explant thing, you can always say, and everything underneath it. We try to make this fail safe. Fail safe is kind of like idiot proof, which is kind of like anybody can do it. So, what have you decided, judged, computed, and oh, the other C just left. DJCCs. I forgot the other C. I'll put it in the thing. Have you, are you using to create the fear you're choosing? And everything underneath that, all the SHIKU implants and explants, are you willing to destroy and uncreate them? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, povats, bases, and beyonds. And one more about that whole excited thing that we kind of touched on, that we keep brushing by. What is it that lights you up so much that that excitement transmits energy, the energy of possibility and joy across the universe and can totally change the world? Because that's what Gary and Dane talked about in the most recent Out of the Box, and in many of them actually, but the most recent one was more about the earth and the ability for the earth to survive some of what's been going on environmentally, which for a lot of people brings up fear. But what Gary said was that every person who's willing to be them, who's willing to show up, allows the earth to live for 80 more years. So what if each of us made that choice to live from that joy and that excitement, knowing that it would extend the planet's vibrant contribution? That's what feels lightest, but like that energetic, just like the SOP. So, huh. So what can we be to be more of that? More of the infinite beings that we are. More of, I just imagine someone with a megaphone as we're crossing the street going, infinite being walking, infinite being walking. Some of my jokes are really only funny to me. So anything that doesn't allow that beautiful you to shine so bright that it's visible from space, are you willing to destroy and create that? And times Godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, PUD and POC, online, shorts, boys, povads, bases, and beyonds. I get that we are complete unless there are any questions. So I'll just give it a minute and see if anybody wants to share or ask anything before we end for the evening. All right, my dears. Thank you so much for showing up for you. Thank you so much for playing with this energy. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.